Hello, Expert 3. You have an important job ahead of you. You are going to be in charge of teaching your home group how to graph a line using intercepts. And so make sure you understand and you complete slides 9, 10, and 11 and 12. So 9's actually already done for you. I'm going to read through. You need to buy bottles of soda for a class party. Name brand sodas cost $3 and generic sodas cost $1. You have $30 to spend. If X represents the number of bottles of generic soda and Y represents the number of bottles of name brand soda, the equation 1x plus 3y equals 30 represents all the ways you could spend your money. Graph the equation to show all possibilities and remember to label the axes. So I'm going to start by labeling my axes so I don't forget. It says you have, X represents the number of generic soda. So that means over here on the x-axis, I need to write number of generic soda. And then it says Y represents the number of name brand soda. So on the y-axis, I want to label number of name brand soda. Then what you do is you look at your table. It's given you 0 here and 0 here, and you want to do those one at a time. So I start with my equation 1x plus 3y equals 30, and then I substitute 0 for the x. So 1 times 0 plus 3y equals 30. 1 times 0 is 0, so that cancels. And I get 3y equals 30. Divide both sides by 3, and I have y equals 10. So I put 10 in this box. Over here, I have 0 for the y this time. So I go back to my equation, 1x plus 3y equals 30, and I substitute 0 for the y. 3 times 0 is 0, so that is gone. I have 1x equals 30, which is the same as x equals 30. And so I put that here. Now my table has 2 points in it. It has 0, 10, so I mark that point. And it has 30, 0, and I mark that point. And I draw the line between the points. Okay, make sure you got that one, and then we're going to do one together. Let's see which one looks like a good one. This one is fine. Also fine. And then for the last one, it just doesn't have the labels here for X and Y. So actually, maybe we'll do the last one together, and then you guys will go back and do 10 and 11. Ken is buying water for the soccer team. Altogether, they need 480 ounces of water. Small bottles of water have 8 ounces, and large bottles of water have 24 ounces. If X represents the number of small bottles he buys, and Y represents the number of large bottles he buys, the equation 8x plus 24y equals 480 represents all possible combinations of small and large bottles. Graph the equation to show all possibilities. Remember to label the axes. So we not only have to label the axes, but this time we also have to label our table. So it says X is the number of small bottles. So on the x-axis, I need to label it number of small bottles. And then also up here, I need to write small bottles for the X. All right, and then it says Y represents the number of large bottles. So I'll make a new text box for that. And then I can rotate it and move it over. Nope. All right, and then here on the Y, I also want to put large. All right, now I'm remembering from the other problems that I had a 0 in the X And then in the second row, I had a 0 for the y. So I start by substituting 0 for the x. I'm going to take my equation, 8x plus 24y equals 480. And you may want to just type this workout on your slide too, so you'll be able to show your group. So 8x plus 24y equals 480. And then I substitute 0 for the x. So I have 8 times 0 plus 24y equals 480. 8 times 0 is 0, so that part is gone, and now I just have 24y equals 480, and I want to divide both sides by 24. So when I divide this side by 24, and I divide this side by 24, all right, so that gives me y on the left equals, and 24, and when I divide this here, I should get 20. And so that means this point here is going to be 0, 20. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the x. Let me create a new text box to find the x. So this time I'm going to put the 0 for the x. Oh, wait, I did that already. I'm going to put the 0 for the y. Okay, so 24 times 0 is 0, so now I have 8x equals 480. I want to divide both sides by 8, and I get x equals 60. And so that's going to go here. Okay, so I have 2 points to graph, 0, 20, 0, and that looks like that's the 20 right there. Pretty good. And 60, 0. Here's the 60 right here. Okay, and then you want to connect those with a line. All right, so we have done number 12 together. Pause the video and make sure you have that on your slide as well. And then remember, you are also responsible for finishing number 10 with the same method and number 11 with the same method. Please work with your expert group to make sure everybody is an expert on all 4 slides, 9, 10, 11, 12, so that you can teach your group.